How's everyone doing? Today we're counting down the top 10 most expensive Pokemon cards from the set EX Dragons, all the way from E-Series. If you were ever blessed and lucky enough to open up this set, well, I'm super jealous because I never got to, although I wish that I did. Now, before we get into things, I want to remind everyone that tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we will be giving away tons of Pokemon slabs, Pokemon God Packs, single Pokemon cards, and Pokemon booster packs. Totally for free on my YouTube channel. It will start at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, April 14th at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I just said that, blah, blah, blah. Make sure you're there for your chance to win a multitude of Pokemon cards, slabs, booster packs, and God packs. This is in celebration of reaching 8,000 subscribers. I do it every 250 subscribers, and 8,250 looks like it's right around the corner. So make sure you tune in for your chance to win. Now, let's get into today's top 10 most expensive. We're starting off with number 10, being the Charmeleon, number 99 of the set, with an ungraded price tag of $40. We're already at $40. And if you're lucky enough to have this card at PSA 10, it's going for over $300 now. Now, the cheapest this card was back in December 22nd at $37, and the most expensive was 3 years ago, January 2021, at $96.20. Pretty good way to start things off with a nice expensive number 10. Now time for number 9. We have ourselves Latias EX. This card is currently going for $47.50, and grading it, literally, if you have this card, you might as well grade it, because even if it gets a 7, you're going to almost double your profit right there. And if you somehow get it as a 10, it's $845. You made a profit of $800 pretty much. This card's the cheapest time, looks like it is going to be of August of 2022 at $29. And the most expensive this card was recently at $60.46 back in this past February. Number 8, we have our OG Gyarados Big Boy going for $49.73. There's no grade 7s, it looks like, so if you grade it and you get a 7, might be worth more than an 8 and 9. This card, sadly, though, the PSA isn't as good as the Latias, with only $232 price tag on a PSA 10. This card's cheapest version was back, free ain't a thing, so I guess you can't count that, was back in January of 23 at $35. And the most expensive it was way back when, in May of 22 at $75. Now, for number 7, we have ourselves Charmander with the City Champion sticker. Remember that. This one has a City Champion stamp on it. This guy is going for a current $60 ungraded. And a PSA 10 of $440. Dude, look at the PSA 9.5 to the PSA 10. That's a $340 jump right there. That is insane. Looking at this card, the most expensive this card was $92 back in August of 23, and the cheapest it was recently back in January 24 of $40. So it's gone up about $20 since then. At number 6, we have ourselves Dragonite EX. This Dragonite is currently going for $62.65 with a PSA 10 of over $1,000, and one sold already this month. Somebody bought it this month for $1,000. That's nuts. And why are you charging shipping at that point? Why would you? I wouldn't buy this because you have shipping on there. Just throw the shipping in the price and say free shipping at that point. Sheesh, what a cheap son of a gun. Next up is a $450, still crazy, but I mean, it more than doubles with a 0.5 better grade. Cheapest this card was back in February of 21 at $32.25, and the most expensive was back in March of 22 at $117. Number 5, we have ourselves Charmander without the City Champion stamp. Remember, this one doesn't have it. which is kind of surprising because it's more expensive than with the one that does. I don't understand that. Ungraded is going for $65.94 with a PSA 10 of $575. 6 were sold this past year in PSA 10 form, and it's crazy how a 9.5 drops almost to $500. A 0.5 makes a $500 difference. That is still remarkably insane to me. Most expensive this card was back in June of 22 at $74.16. And the cheapest this card was, it looks like, back in February of 23 at $44.42. At number 4, we have ourselves Rayquaza EX going for a current $82 with a, my goodness gracious, a PSA 10 of $1,416.86. That is insane. And 6 PSA 10s were sold this past year alone. That is nuts. It literally 0.5 better grade doubles your profit of $772 to $114.16. That's insane. Most expensive this card was back in April 23, $122.82. And the cheapest this card was back in January of 22 at $46. So nice steal if you got it then. All right, before we get into the top 3, we are going to go over the honorable mention top 5. These are 5 cards that did make it into the top 10, but deserve an honorable mention outside of it because I think they're worth it. Number 5 of the top 5 honorable mentions goes to a Kingdra EX with an ungraded price tag of $21.54 and a PSA 10 price tag of $327. 6 PSA 10s were sold at that price this past year, where a 9.5 significantly drops at a $83 difference. $83, that is a big difference. This card's most expensive price was recently in February of 24 at $36.06, and its cheapest price was back in September 22nd, $17.95. Number 4 of the honorable mentions goes to Salamanca. Nah, I'm kidding. I just watched and finished Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad, so Salamanca is what I've been calling this dude. He's going for $30.85 with a PSA price tag of $294 and a PSA 9.5 of $69. Again, 6 PSA 10s were sold in the past year alone, but it's over a $200 difference with a 0.5 grade. The most expensive this card was back in February of 21 at $54.59. And the cheapest this card was back in October of 21 at $17.29. Now, it's time for number 3 of the top 5 honorable mentions. We have ourselves Ampharos going for $31 ungraded, but a crazy high rocketed PSA 10 of $775. Now, PSA 9.5 and 10 is a huge difference of $644. That's kind of nuts. That's how much of a difference that is. That is insane. This card's most expensive price tag was recently at $47.49 back in January of 24. And its cheapest price tag was again recently of $18.52 of March 24. If you ever thought about collecting an old set, definitely pay attention to the analytics of it because you can easily complete a master set of an old series for really not that insane of prices. I'm not going to lie. It'll cost you, somewhere between $100 and $1,000. But the packs alone will cost you way more than that, like 10 to 100 times more. All right, number 2 of the honorable mentions goes to Absol. Absol here has an ungraded $32.38 with a PSA 10 of $806. PSA 9.5 is $297. That is a $500 priced at $509 if you want to be specific. That is insane. This card has been worth pretty much the same thing for the past 3-4 years. Look at that line. That's kind of crazy. I've never seen that before. This card's cheapest price tag was back in March of 24 at $29.34, and its most expensive price tag was looking like it was back in February of 24 at $33.99. All right, time for the number one most expensive honorable mention Pokemon card from the EX Dragon set. And that's going to be Latias EX with a price tag of $38.22 and an insane PSA 10 of $1,000 and $1,150 with 2 sold in the past year. Yo, not gonna lie, just looking at these analytics here, if you can buy like 20 near mint to mint Latios EX cards at $38.22. Like, this is not financial advice. If it fails, this is on you. But think about it. $38.22. Let's say you buy 20 of them at that price, all right? That's going to be about $800. Okay, 800, you're in the whole $800. But now let's say you get a bunch of 9. You get mostly all 8 and 9 PSAs back, but you get like 2 PSA 10s. You just spent $800 and you made an insane profit of well over like somewhere between $2 and $3 grand. I just feel like, why is that not being done? I understand it's not likely you're going to sell something at that price that often. It's going to be maybe once a year if you're lucky. But like, I don't know. People put a lot of money in stocks, and I feel like this just is, I don't know. If I had a ton of money, I think I'd dip my toes in this and try it out. But I don't, and if you don't do it. Again, not financial advice, just a curious question. All right, time for the top 3 most expensive Pokemon cards from EX Dragon. At number 3, we have ourselves the TV Reporter Reverse Holo. Why that one is as expensive as it is, I have no idea, to be honest. They're going for $110 ungraded with an insanely high PSA 10 price of $2,686.59. One sold this past year at that price. Insane. The most expensive this card has been, it was back in March of 22 at $373.13 for Reverse Holo. Girl, what did you do? Sheesh. She's reporting on something she shouldn't be, because there is a bounty on her head. That's crazy. And the cheapest this card was back in May of 2023 at $98.85. The highest PSA 10 price right there of any of them, I do believe. We go off ungraded on this, but that PSA 10 price is insane. All right, time for number 2. We got ourselves Charizard. Only number 2 for Charizard. What? Who's number 1? Charizard's going for $222.49 with a PSA 10 of $1,748.87. The most expensive this card was back in June of 23 for $302. And the cheapest this card was back in January of 21 at $69. Wow, if you bought it back then, what a steal. All right, it's time for the number 1 most expensive Pokemon card coming from the EX Dragon set series. Before I get to that, please don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't yet. Check out our membership options, as being a member gives you some awesome perks. Don't forget to comment down below what set or individual Pokemon you would like to see featured in next week's top 10 most expensive. If you're lucky, your comment might be picked to have what you want seen. And tonight, April 19th, at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we will be doing a YouTube live giveaway event on my YouTube channel, Pokemon_Drama. That is tonight, April 19th, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You'll have chances of winning God Packs, Booster Packs, Slabs, and much more, including singles. So make sure you're there for your chance to win. International is more than welcome to enter and even has free shipping on some giveaways as well. Now, it's time for the number 1 most expensive Pokemon card from the EX Dragon series. And that's going to be none other than, who do you think? Charizard, but with a National Champion stamp. Yeah, that National Champion stamp makes Charizard go from $222 to $827. A PSA 8 of this card goes for $1,868. PSA 9, $2,000. PSA 9.5, $2,000 and change. And a PSA 10, $2,131. This is surprisingly the cheapest this card has been in the past forever. This card between April 2022 and July 2023 was going for $1,100 ungraded. The cheapest this card has been was back in January, this past January 2024, for $744. So he's slowly starting to bounce up. Well, that concludes today's top 10 most expensive EX Dragon Pokemon cards. Thank you everybody for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Don't forget to like the video if you haven't yet, subscribe to the channel if you'd like to, and comment down below what set or individual Pokemon you would like to see featured in next week's top 10. Don't forget to check out that join membership button to see what membership options we have and see if being a Pokemon Drama member is right for you. Alright everyone, hope to see you tonight, April 19th at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on my YouTube channel for my live massive giveaway event. We're hoping to break the record and get more than 24 giveaways. We broke the record last live giveaway, which was 2 weeks ago, so we're hoping to break it again. Alright everyone, have a great rest of your night, and say it with me if you know the saying, make hollows great again, and keep poking on. Until next time, peace and happy pulling.